Hello everybody, it's Robin from My Conking Creations. How are you today on this beautiful Wednesday? Oh my god, the sun is shining. It's so warm out here. I live in southwestern Ontario. We're on Lake Huron here, and the wind can be a little, a little cool off the lake, but these last couple of days have been absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited today. I had a really dear friend reach out and ask if she could buy one of my Rosies, and I had sold the Rosie that I had. So I told her, well, I've had so many questions about it. Maybe what I'll do is I'll run a live and I'll make yours on the live, so it'll be available. So it'll be kind of a 2-for-1. So I'm going to wait just a minute before I get started. I know I'm a little bit early, but if you want to just say hey when you come on, I would love it. I know I'm early, and I'm not expecting, I don't often get a lot of people on my lives, so I'm not too concerned if I don't have that many, but say hey when you join. I would love to know who's here. See, we have a couple. I did post it in the Canadian Wreath Makers site and a couple of the Flamingo sites, because I do have some gals on there that watch from that. I'm going to be giving you the listing of materials that you're going to need to have. So if I get any questions about it at all, I'm just going to be forwarding the video, because I just don't have time to answer every single question, especially when I cover it off, either in my parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 that I did, or in this video. So, hello Melanie, how are you? From Georgia. The weather must be absolutely beautiful there if it's nice here. I know we have friends that live down in the Keys, and it's been a little rainy down there, but it's been really nice, really warm. I'm not a cold weather person at all. I hate it. I just hate it. I tell everybody I was born in the wrong hemisphere, but we do live in a lovely spot here. We have, well, I've shown pictures before. We have a bush across the street from us, and then on the other side of the bush is the lake. So we get to hear the lake. We just don't, we don't have to experience the ravage that the lake offers. I had no idea that the lake did so much damage to houses and stuff, like in the winter, the blowing sand and all of that good stuff. But I'm going to wait just a minute, because I want to make sure. Say hey when you come on, okay? I would love to know where you're joining from. I've been so busy with these flamingos. I'm nearing the end. I've only got 3 more to do, the big ones. Next weekend, the April 20th and 21st, I'm going to be in a market sale here, a maker's sale in my area. So I'm going to be pledging next week just to get ready for that sale. I usually have a ton of painted stuff like boards and whatever, but I haven't made anything. I'm going to be doing some wooden bumblebees made out of pallet wood for your garden, or you can put them on a gate, or they're about 12 by 14, I think. They're 14 inches wide, and oh, I got some more people. Hello, Rose from Arizona. Is that Arizona? And Donna from Louisiana. Oh, Donna, I would love to come down to Louisiana. I really want to go and go to Deco Exchange and see Damon and Parker. I would really like to do that on one of our trips down there. Central Illinois. You're not too far from us. We're I'm thinking probably, I don't know, how far away from Chicago are you? Because Chicago is about 6.5 hours for us to drive there. Hello, Sandy. Canadian. Yes, that's awesome. And Arkansas. Hi, Rose. Thank you for joining. We're going to have some fun today. This is a really nice little project. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to make. And if you have like a friend who's kind of a tropical beachy kind of person, and you've got to give them a birthday gift or something, this is a real economical type of gift if you're a wreath maker to make and give it to them. Hi, Jackie from West Virginia and Sandra from South Carolina. Yeah, this project, the wreath, now, I'm thinking probably you can use the 3-ring, 8-inch wreath frame from Dollar Tree on these as well. I think you would be able to, because I have a 4-frame one, but I cut the one off. And I have a whole bag of them, those 3-ring ones somewhere, and I couldn't find them. I can't find them anywhere. That's what happens when you clean up your craft room. You know, they were in a certain spot for like all this time, and then I decided, oh, I'm going to clean up and clean out and get everything all organized, and now I can't find anything. I hate it. Hi, Sandra from South Carolina, and Kim from North Carolina, and Mary from Florida. Lucky Mary. We never got to Florida this year. We were kind of thinking that we might go on a cruise this winter, but it just never happened. I don't know. Well, I think I'm going to get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is what you need, okay? So what you need is you need a bird from Dollar Tree. And they have the legs stuck in the neck here. You're going to use those legs as well. But you need one of these birds. And, you know, they're really quite well made. Like, they're nice and heavy. Like, they're the perfect size for an 8-inch wreath frame. So again, like I said, you'll need an 8-inch wreath frame, and you can use I would think you could use the three wire ones from Dollar Tree. I don't think that would be a problem. You're going to need to have some white paint, because I paint the wreath frame white. Now, I don't know, hi Bev, hi Mary. I don't know if you can buy gold colored ones, but if they're dark, I would paint them, because the mesh isn't that thick and you don't want to see the wires through the mesh, right? So you're going to need that. You're going to need to get some chenilles, or I put the chenilles in the center. I'm going to be putting a couple more in to show you how I do it. If you want to use that white grid stuff, hi Susan, you can use that white grid stuff in here too. I just don't have any of it, and I just didn't feel like going out and about today. I wanted to stay home. But if you had the white grid stuff, you could use that in there too, no problem. Now, it all depends how you want this bird to look. You could do it all in one color. So if you want to do it all in the ombre, you could, or you could do it all in the pink. This is from Hobby Lobby. I didn't even look to see if the mesh was on sale this week, because I don't need any. But always get this when it's 40% off, because I think that for what you're paying for, this mesh is expensive at regular price. But at 40% off, it's quite reasonable. You're going to need about a roll. I don't know how many pieces you need to put on here. You just fill it in as you go. So I'm going to say, I think what I did was I cut 10 or 12 pieces of each color, and then if I need more, I'll cut them as I go. But if you want to just do it in the plain pink, you can, or if you're the ombre. But what I do is the ombre on the top and the pink on the bottom for the breast petals. But you can do it however you want. Or if you even want to use a different pink altogether, like if you had a pink mesh from, say, Craft Outlet or Trendy Tree or something, use what you've got. Because if you're only making one, it doesn't have to be exactly like how I do it. Just make it your own, okay? So you're going to do that. Then on the legs, you're going to need to wrap the legs with the silver chenille. So you're going to need silver chenilles on this. And you're going to wrap your legs, both of them. And I do one straight, and I do one so that I can make it look like this. But you don't have to do that. Like the one that I did, I don't even remember what it was. I did the legs like this. I just bent them in half and stuck them up there. But oh, I know, that was for the black one, and it was the big neck, the big flamingos that I used. So the legs were a lot longer. But these I did one of each, and I bent one, and I just covered it with the chenille, and I just put a little bit of glue on it when I do that, okay? Now, for her adornments, what I did was I bought this stuff. and it's at Dollar Tree, $1.25. And what I did was I cut it in half so that there were, and I cut it about, I don't know, I cut it about 2 feet long. And then what I did was I glued, I don't know if you can see that, I glued a silver chenille on the back because this is not wired. So if you glue a chenille on the back, you can do whatever you want with it. It makes it like a wired ribbon. Now, if you have access to a 7/8 ribbon that has wire in it, it would be even more perfect. But I don't. So I just bought this stuff and I wired the chenille on the back, so I'll be able to make my bow and it'll stand up nice underneath her neck. Now, these are the crowns off of Amazon that I bought. I'm going to show you that number, and I did post the link for the number on the crowns. Now, don't be concerned when you get them because there's 3 different sizes. This is the small one. This is the big one, and I've used the medium ones. I think I've used all the mediums up. So, but what you can do with this one, like for this one for today, I cut it in half. So I cut it in half, and then we're just going to put it on top of her head. We're just going to glue it on there like that. So you'll be able to get, you only get 1 of each thing. So you'll get 2 of these, and the medium one, I cut it into 3, so that's 5. The large one, I'm not going to do anything with this because I think I might be able to use that on another project when I get something a little bit bigger. I'm not going to waste that because I don't want to cut that apart and mess it up. But these are $20 for the 3. So that's why I'm saying cut them apart. So you'll get 2 out of this one, and I think I got 3 out of the medium, so that's 5. So they're like $4. They'll be like $4 a piece. Plus, you'll have the big crown for another, completely left over for another project. So I got them off Amazon. I did post the link on my page for where I got them. You can't hear me? Can anybody else not hear me? Can you hear me, Susan? Let me know if you can't hear me. I will try to talk a little bit louder. Sorry. I do have a microphone, but I haven't practiced with it yet. Whoopsie. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Maybe refresh, Beverly, maybe refresh your screen, go out and come back in again. That might be what it is. Okay, great. Let me know if something goes screwy. So anyway, so that makes these a little bit more economical, even though you got to put $20 up to buy them. And then I just went to the dollar store and I bought a whole bag of these little eyes. And these little eyes are all different sizes and they have little eyelashes on them. They're so cute. Okay, so that's what we need. We need the bird, we need an 8-inch frame, and we need chenilles. We need silver chenilles to wrap the legs. We need something to adorn her. If you want to do something like maybe a flower on her head and a big flower around her neck, you don't have to do bling. I just did the bling because I made her like a princess, but whatever. So that's about it. And then a roll of whatever fabric you want. And one roll, if you want to just do it all the same, one roll will do the whole thing. Okay, so don't worry about being fancy and doing 2 different. The only reason I'm doing it is because I have these 2 from the big flamingos and I am going to have some left over. So, okay, so we're going to get down to how we, I'm going to finish prepping this and then we're going to do the fold for the feathers, okay? Because I do the feathers one way for the whole thing, okay? I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. Hopefully you can see okay. Okay, so I've got them like this, and I usually do, I'll do one this way, and I'll do one this way. So I just bring this through, and again, if you want to use that white grid stuff, you can. It may work a little bit better, but I have always just done it this way. Even when I do my flowers, and I've got to add I have to add more petals if I have to. I'll just do this. So then we just kind of come on, you. There we go. And then we'll bring that around. I tried to use the Unique in the Creek small board on this, and then I wouldn't have had to do this, but it's too big. So that's why I didn't use that, because I did buy some actually for this project, thinking that I might be able to use them, but I can't. Okay, so now, because I have been able to secure those at a bar, that's not going to move, so I don't need to use any. Now I'm going to put one this way. Normally I always just use pink ones, but I don't have any pink left. I need to get to my dollar store and get my little things here. You'll not see, like this is a good color, you won't see it. And just kind of put that around like that. Now, when you're putting these petals on, you're just going to fill in the holes, and you're going to try to make it look like feathers on a bird. So they're going to be layered a little bit. So there's no real like, oh, I put petal number 3 on this spot. It's not like that. It's not like a flower. You're just going to fill it in. So here we go. We got just kind of like a little wheel. Okay. Now the first thing that we're going to put on is we're going to put the top petals on. Now I showed you in detail on part 1 on when I did these, how I cut the flamingo and how I put it on the ring. So you're just going to cut the head, you're going to slit the bottom, and you're going to slit up the neck and slip it on, and see how I've got it behind. I've got it behind that, so because you want to put a petal in here to cover this. So you're going to slip that head, because you're going to slit the bottom and slit up the neck. You're going to slip the neck onto here, and you're going to slip it onto here, and then you're just going to zip tie it. Now what I also did was I put some glue in those holes just to kind of secure it so it's on there good and tight. But again, it's not like, you know, it has to be like cemented on, but you don't want it moving around either. And I always make sure that I wrap one of the zip ties around the bar. That way you don't have to worry about it moving, like sliding on the ring. That's going to secure it. And how I'm going to do her is, see this down here? This is her tail, where her tail feather's going to go. So she's going to be like, kind of like this when you make it. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the feathers and show you how I do that. So this is the same petal as the beige and green wreath that I made on the small Unique in the Creek board. The flamingos are from Dollar Tree. I have no idea what size they are. 5-6 inches, something like that. They're $1.25, so you can buy the frame, the 8-inch frame, and the head at Dollar Tree. There's only one. They only have one there. Okay, I think I got, anybody else have any questions so far? So you could buy the chenilles, or you could buy pretty much everything at Dollar Tree but the mesh. I would not buy the mesh there. Go to Hobby Lobby and get the mesh there, or even Michael's, or wherever you can get it. If you can get it on sale, that's even better. Okay, so now the petal that I'm going to use is the petal that I used on the beige and green one that I did on the small Unique in the Creek board. So you're going to bring the top corner down to the bottom. Don't worry about your stuff if it's fraying, because you're going to be folding everything all in, okay? So you're going to make like a little handkerchief, Now you're going to put your finger up here at the top, in the middle, kind of, and bring that down to the point. And then you're going to bring this one down to the point. And then you're going to smush it together. And you're going to end up with something that looks like that. So then you just put, you can either use a elastic, or you can use a small zip tie on it. And then I cut it off only about a 1/2 inch. You want very little here, just enough to make sure that your zip tie doesn't pull off. And that's what you got. All the petals are the same. Okay, so let's make another one. I've got 3 of them here I left so that I can show you. So you make a diamond. You bring that top corner down. The size is 10 by 10. 10 by 10 always. When you're doing a fold petal, the size is always 10 by 10. At least the ones I do. And then we bring it together. Now, don't worry that it's not perfect, because you're going to be putting these on your flamingo, and feathers are not perfect. Feathers are not all the same. And the side that I put facing up for the flamingo is the side that's flat, not the side that has the fold in it. I use this side. Okay, I got one more. Sorry, I got to keep looking. My iPad is older and it doesn't keep all the comments up. So if anybody says something, I've got to keep refreshing it. So okay, so we got a nice little point there. Then we just kind of smush that up in the middle. You guys will be proud of me, though. I did use elastics on some of these. So I hope that my petals don't fall apart. I used a couple of them, so. And there's your petal. Certainly this mesh is not like when you use the horizontal wide stripe or the mesh, but there you go. There it is. Okay, so now one other petal that we're going to do, the tail feathers. They're a little bit different. I only have 2 of them. They're going to go down here, and when I get down there, I'll show you how I do those. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start putting these in, and like I said, the fold, or where the little join is, it goes to the back. Now, this is the first one, and you start here, and you're going to work your way to the back. See how I said you got to put one in there? So just take your end, pull out your wreath form a little bit, and then just stick that in there. You might need to have to use the end of your scissors to get it in there, but it'll go. And you're going to take it past where the elastic is, because you want to have it, pull it right up tight to the front. So it's going to look like that. And then at the back here, what you're going to do is you're going to secure it. I'm going to cut a little bit of that off. I am going to put, like I always do, I put like a black foamy thing on the back of this, but I'm just going to put a zip tie right over those elastics so we don't have to worry about that coming undone. So it's going to look like that. Okay, so that's the first one. And you're going to push it right up as far as it'll go. And I would just put a tiny little bit of glue under that so that Okay, so now the next one that you're going to put in is going to go in that hole. And this is where we cheat a little bit. So we're going to stick that in there. This is what I said, you just kind of see how that is? You're going to stick that in there, and there it is on the back. So now you're just going to throw your zip tie on the end of that one. Let me see. I'm going to join it to this. It's just wherever you can. All of this on the back is going to be covered, so you're not going to have to worry. There we go. Now, as we go along the top here, we are going to have to, you know, ooh, lordy, those feathers, it looks like she's flying. So we're going to be putting them down like this, but it's going to be done back here with zip ties, but we'll get a few more in here. Now, those are the two hardest ones, because you want to make sure that you cover up where this, all of this mess is here. So that's all covered. You're not going to see it. So now what we're going to do is, see that hole right in there? We're just going to, this is where we kind of cheat a little bit. We're just going to stick one in there. Just like that. And we're going to glue it in. We're not going to zip tie it in because we can't. There we go. It's going to go like that. Okay, so the next one is going to go right. These ones are filled in. These are pretty tight in here. And then once we get past this spot, then you just got to fill in your holes. As I think I said when I was doing the parts, you just got to fill in the holes. So there's, and then there's your thing on the back. And I'm just using little zip ties on these. I'm not using big ones. They are only at the Dollar Tree in the US. I haven't seen any in Canada, unless some of you Canadian girls can tell me. And yeah, the petals are 10 by 10. Anytime you do a folded petal, you see anybody doing a folded petal, pretty much they're 10 by 10. Okay, so here we go. We're looking lovely. It's not looking beautiful. Okay, so we're going to keep going. So now we're going to just start laying on the, I always stick it through when I'm on the top row, I stick it through and then attach I stick it through like that, and then I attach. These are kind of like my owls that I did. I just kind of made it up as I went, so I apologize if you guys think, oh my God, what the heck is she doing? Like, it looks so weird. But I just kind of try to make it when it's done to look like I think how a bird would look, you know. Now, as I go around, I'm putting one this way and one this way on the top, because you want to have it like a little, not apart, but to give some definition, so that it's just, and it gets to be a little bit jammy just here at this spot, and then the rest of it is okay. I debated about doing this on live or not, because it's just a little bit, you know, awkward. And then I usually add extra zip ties just to neaten up the ends and keep them all so that they're not flying all over the place. I am going to be covering this up, but there. So now you're kind of getting to see how she's going to look. She's so beautiful. Let's flip that guy up there like that. I need to put another one in there. Yes, the first row is on the outer band, and that's why, like I said, I cut off the fourth ring on the bottom, but on the top, it's there. But I don't think it will matter. Like with the 3 rings, with the Dollar Tree one, I think you could still do a 3 ring. It doesn't. Just filling in holes up here. There we go. I think that's it. There, perfect. That is perfect. That one's going to be going up there. Okay, so there you go. So we've got her feathers started. So now we're going to start here. We're going to be laying one on this side and one on this side down to the tip. And like I said, I put them through the wire. And then I'm going to go this way. Like you guys can kind of figure out how you want to do it. I just used a little 4-inch zip ties, and okay, so now what I'm going to do, since we've come around the top like this, I'm going to smooth these down. And I'm going to, that little guy, there. So I'm going to be smoothing these down, making sure that my ends of my zip tie, so it's going to look like this. I just take a small zip tie, and on the back, I'm going to make a little loop, and then take a longer one and come down to here, down to one of these guys, because this is all, like I said, is all going to be covered, so it holds it down. So I do something like that. Okay, these ones, let's see. This one here, put that Whatever works, right? Oh, that's a big one. These are the only ones you really have to do anything with, because the rest of them will all lay flat. But you don't want them standing straight up. There, so now that's what your top of your bird looks like. So her wings are kind of up, but they're not flying all over the place. And now we're on our way down. How does that look, guys? What do you think? If you look on, Kim, if you go on my page and look at part 1 on the baby flamingo, I show you where it is. There's the top of where I cut the 8-inch wreath, and there's the bottom. So if you go on my part 1 on baby flamingo, I show it in detail how I cut the neck and how it gets put on. I think there might even be a video of it as well. You just cut it. Let's see. Oopsie. I'm gonna make it so that you cut it right about like that. Okay. Then you're gonna slit the bottom here. You're going to slit the bottom there when you put it on, and you're going to slit the top there, and then you slide it onto the wreath form. And at the very beginning of this video, I kind of showed that as well, but on part 1, it also shows it on the baby flamingo video, okay? Okay, so here we are. We're looking good. We're coming around the bend. So we're going to keep putting these on. And like I said, I stick that in through because it's just kind of bulky. And it's just easier to stick it through. And then I use my little 4-inch zip ties to tie it on. Once we get around the top, then it's pretty much just filling in the spaces with these. So, and again, guys, use your imagination. You know, you've kind of seen how I do it, but you can make these however you want. You know, there's all kinds of options and things you can do. Okay, I'm gonna put one up here. Get over there. Oh. Not that far. Just kind of fasten those on. Well, nice and tight. And see how it's beginning to start to go kind of like that. It's just, it's funny because the petals just kind of do their own thing. I'm going to put this one in here. And I've only done one of these, remember, so I'm still kind of learning too. The black one is a little bit different than this because they use the big head, like the big head that I use on the big flamingo. So this is way smaller. Okay, so now we're down to here, and this is where the tail feathers are going to go. So I have 2 cut, and now this is where I'm going to use the wonderful petal that we all love, the sunflower petal. So we just make a little, oh, I can't use this. We just make a little handkerchief. And then we bring it up and we make some rabbit ears. And then we're just going to lay that right on top of the number 1 ring on your petal. Because you want them to be like a little bit long, right? Like the tail feathers. So they kind of look like that. Now I'm going to put another, I have another one cut. I'm probably going to have to get have a couple of more pieces cut. So I'm going to scooch that up. So I'll count the petals that I have so far on here, because I have no idea how many I cut. At this stage of the game, I usually just cut like 4 or 5 at a time, and then if I need more, I cut them. If I don't, then I have some left over. Okay. No, I think I'm going to put a couple of small ones on there. So here's the tail feather. Let me bring those up. Yeah, might do one more. Maybe 2. I'll do 2 more of those. So these are 12 inches. So I got, or I'm sorry, 10 inches, 10 by 10. Okay, there we go. I'm going to spray all the edges on this when I'm done. Okay. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some regular ones up top. And that's good. I'm going to put 2 more of the regular ones up there. And then I'll let you know how many we've got so far. Make just regular petals here. Go. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, I'll start up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 14 of the regular, and we have 3, 1, 2, 3 of the tail feathers. Okay, so I'm going to just put this down. Pull this one down a little bit. I don't know, I don't glue anything. I could glue these down, but I would rather just use zip ties because I'm so afraid of them falling apart. And again, I'm going to be putting a piece of black foam on the back of this, so you're not going to see any of this. Okay, so there's the top of the, that kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to fill everything all in. So I'm going to probably need, I'm going to cut, let me see. Do is I think I'll cut, maybe cut about 10 more. More, and they're 10 by 10. So that would be about 20, I think, pieces. So you might need to get 2. I'll count the number at the end and see, but you might need 2 rolls. Or if you did your petals differently, you wouldn't use as much. So it's just however you, when you experiment with it, you can see how far you're going to go. Okay. Oh, then Susan, the flamingo is from Dollar Tree. It's the Dollar Tree plastic bird. They're $1.25. I went over, I couldn't believe it. Oh, the freaking Dollar Tree over in Michigan I went to was fabulous. So much nicer than the ones we have here. It was like, oh, they had all this seashell stuff, like blue and white, and they had placemats and tablecloths, and they had seashells, and they had cool, funky signs, and I'm standing there looking and thinking, oh my God, I always buy, when I go shopping like that, looking for stuff, I go based on project, so I knew what I was going for. I was going to buy the flamingos, and I was really looking for a funky flamingo plastic tablecloth, because I do have 2 of the big flamingos I'm doing with plastic tablecloths. I do have a pink and white polka dot, which is what I'm going to use. But I thought if I could get a funky flamingo tablecloth that I could use with it, it would look really cool, but they didn't have. The one that they had was, it had like navy blue, and then it had the flamingos across the bottom. It was really nice and everything, but it wouldn't work for what I was wanting. So then when I went into Hobby Lobby, I was so disillusioned. Their stuff wasn't, they didn't have half the stuff out that they had at the Dollar Tree. And I mean, I was like disappointed when I went into Hobby Lobby. And as a Canadian, we love that store. We don't have anything like that here. Oh dear. I don't like doing this when I'm on a live with you guys, because I like to have everything all done. But like I said, I haven't done one of these before, really. I did the one, but it was just kind of like a practice. So when you're doing one for, I should have been more prepared, I guess. And I gotta go to my favorite store, Greenbucks, tomorrow. I gotta go and get some more of these little zip ties. My 3,000 zip ties that I ordered from Amazon, they had better be here tomorrow. I have a sunflower class on Friday and I need them. I can't believe it took like over 10 days. They normally come overnight. Every other size that I wanted was available tomorrow, the free delivery tomorrow. And then the one I want, the 6-inch ones, it kept saying April 12th or something. And then, so then yesterday when I went in to look at them, they actually said Thursday delivery. And so I do have other ones that I can use, but I don't like to use them for a class. These ones that I have, the small ones, are so easy to zip up. Yeah, Susan, the large one with the made out of the tablecloth, I'm doing it like this one. It's going to be a side view, and it's going to be really different. So I am doing 2. I have orders for 2 of them. So I'm going to do the first one like I always do. I'm going to do it in the darkness of my craft room with no one looking, because I don't want, you know, I don't want anybody to see me. This here. I gotta set that in there. Now on this one, I gotta slip the end in here, so I'm just cutting this bird a little bit so that I can get the zip tie in there. And it's going to be one again that is glued. It's going to be glued. This is where the, yeah, okay, that's good. That's in there. So it goes in right here. So I just had to snip that a little bit. And then I'm just going to use just put some glue in it. And that's going to hold that in there. This is going to go up here. And you're going to start filling in your holes. after I do my 10th one, it'll be like nothing. I'll be breezing through it. It's just trying to get these. Oh yeah, see how that looks? I probably didn't need this many. Oh well. Put that in there. And you know, you're just bringing it around this way because that's how the feathers go, right? Once I get past this, I say that for every section. Once I get past this, it's just going to be a breeze. It's like, oh God. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And it's so freaking piddly. That's part of the problem. There we go. Okay, a couple more under there. And again, we just kind of keep feeding them in. I think her name is pretty good. My girlfriend who ordered it said, I saw Rosie and I just had to have her. I was like, I think I picked the right name for her. The peacocks are going to be Sophia, Princess Sophia, and the, or was it Queen? What did I have? The black one was a queen. The peacock was a princess. And these are going to be princesses. That was my girlfriend. She said, you need to name these. They're so darn cute. Okay, that looks good. Put one here. This one. Oopsie. Okay, so there, that's pretty much all that I'm going to do for the tail, or for the top. So, well, I got one more. I can put one more in. Put one in up here, I guess. Where I'm using the chenilles now to tie the, pretty much all the plain pink ones will be on the chenille. There'll be some on the frames, but okay. So there's the top. of it. So now we're going to start with the breast petals. Now the breast petals, again, they're the same. Let me put it in this basket. They're all made the same. I don't know how many of them I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 11 of them. Okay, so now here where we join this here, that's where the bow's going to be. So I try to cover that up as much as I can, but in case there's ever any little bits showing, it works out okay because the what do you call it? The bow will cover it. Okay. So we'll start. Now let's see. I did that one first. Again, I want to put that right up in there, so just cut a little hole. Says I have these on with elastics and I don't want it to break. And again, this one's going to be glued in. Get all these. I trimmed it down as much as I could. Okay. Okay, so there's the petal. And then we're just going, this one here will be going kind of over it. Put a little clip on that to hold it. Okay, so now we'll start putting these on down here. This stuff is the mesh from Hobby Lobby, so whatever that is. I don't know what it's. This is Polypro mesh ribbon is what this is. I normally for my projects use horizontal wide stripe. That's what I use 90% of the time, but for something whimsical like this, I'm using the same pink. They do have a pink on the wide stripe, but it's a little more rigid, and I wanted something that would be kind of whimsical. You know what I mean? So that's why I use this. get those ends out of the way. Get in there. Okay, so we're coming along. This guy, I usually cut my ends off more than that. I must have been in a hurry when I was making this today. There we go. That's going to go underneath that. And that. Come on. Cooperate. Go. So now this one we're going to tie that back a little bit so that it kind of wraps around that. There we go. Oh, I did. I put that on upside down. I wonder it wasn't laying right. There, that's better. Put it on upside down. So again, you're just tying the edge ones down to have them lay semi-flat so that it looks like the edging of their body or whatever. And again, this is all just how I do it. There you go. So now we'll just keep feeding these in under here. Like I said, once you get the top ones done, here. So we're coming along. We're coming along. We're just about there. For those of you who are hanging on with me, thank you for, I know it's kind of, just kind of watching. It's really piddly, this part. One more in there. I always kind of build it. It's not how I normally would do a wreath, working up and underneath, but I want it to be like really three-dimensional, so you know, I want it to so here we're coming along. She's coming along pretty darn good, I think. I don't know if I want to put any more there. I think she's good, so I'll just put a couple around the bottom. Do 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 do. Do do do. This is kind of like how the owl is when you make it. You're just kind of filling in the spots where the main, you know what the main things are, but you're filling in the holes where the feathers need to go. And it does take a little bit of time. Even though it's a small wreath, it does take quite a bit of time to make. Let's see, one more down here. Yep, right there. That was like a workout. So you can see that it's not a lot of product or whatever, but it does take a little bit of time. Okay, so there she is. She's got lovely little tail feathers. And I think she looks lovely. She's just beautiful. And now I'm going to put her legs on her. I've got them all done. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll do her eyes. I've got her eyes here, and I'll do her crown. And her neck. And then, because you guys have seen the legs before, so then if you want to go, you can. So I'm just going to get off of there. Put a tiny little bit of glue on the back of these. And then figure out which way they go. The eyelashes are on the top. And I put them on both sides, even though there's a front and a back. I don't know, I put them on both sides. So there's your little eyes. Aren't they beautiful? She looks so cute. Okay, so now we're going to put her crown on her. Now, how I do this, hello, Mr. Chanel. So just put a little bit of glue on here. Stick that on. Kind of put a little bit more on the one side than the other. Oh, of course. So there's her little crown. So she's looking very lovely. Let's maybe make it go a little bit more this way. Stay in there, okay. That's good. Let's let that sit for a sec. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make her necklace. And I can make hers a little bit longer than I did the other one. It's hard to tell the front from the back. Okay. Well, we'll just use a piece of this. So you can see, like, by putting that chenille on the back of it, it made it so that it's like kind of wiry, you know what I mean? Okay, so Oh, now I'm going to take one long piece. I'm going to tie this around her neck. Again, speaking to the not wanting to have glue. You can kind of fit it in. I'm going to be fixing up these petals too. It's there. And again, I just glued the chenille to the back. And there's the bow. And there's her little crown. She's looking very, very regal. And I might just throw a tiny little bit just to kind of keep it so that it doesn't move around, but it's not secured by that. There she is. Okay, so now we're going to put her legs on her, and she's done. Well, I just got to put the black piece across the back. But okay, so her leggies. What did I do with her legs? So I'm going to put the first one in. Now, this is where you're going to want to put it the way that she's going to be. Oopsie. And again, just fastening it. I'm going to bring it right up. Through here. You guys are so awesome to stay watching me do this. Oh my God, you have patience. Okay, and then I'm going to fasten it down here on the bottom. That way the leg doesn't like kind of go all over. And you know how it is when you're trying to show people stuff, you're all thumbs. At least that's how I am. Oh dear. Okay. So there's her one leg. Now, we're going to put the other leg. She is kind of cute, isn't she? Yeah. You are so beautiful, Rosie. Okay. Now we're going to put this leg. Now, put it here. I really do like making stuff like this. I think I like making stuff like this more than conventional type wreaths and stuff. I'm always thinking of, you know, different things I can make, because everybody makes conventional stuff, you know, and I don't know. I just love it. I love it. Okay. Now, one thing I also do, there's her, whoopsie, there's her little legs. One thing I also do when I've got them crossed like that is, oh, here's a shorter piece. I just put a I'll go like, oh, take a look at this. Yeah, I just kind of go, I'll put them around like this, and then I'll bring it around like that. And that stops the legs from moving around. Like, it'll keep it stationary. Oh, she is lovely. You are lovely, Miss Rosie. You are just lovely. Okay, so now we're going to put her feet on. And the feet are the same as how I do the other ones. Let me just see here. Do I have two? Do I have two? I do. Okay. So we're just going to make, and I know this is not anatomically correct for a flamingo. She's supposed to have 3 toes in the front and 1 in the back, but our flamingos go like, our flamingos are like this. So I just make 2 toes. So I'll do that, and then I just do a twist. And then we have a foot. So then I'll just throw, whoopsie. Just put a little bit of glue in there. And put that on there. And then we'll just wrap it around. Cover up all that. And I just put a little bit on the bottom, just kind of holds it in place. And then we'll do one for the bottom. So there's the second one. So we'll just put a little bit of glue in there. That is really, I don't need that long. No, I'm not putting any feathers on these. There's no feathers on these birds. So there's no feathers on her feet or anything. Okay. So I think she is done. So there she is. Little Miss Rosie, number 2. So I'm going to trim her up, and then I'm going to spray her really well on the edges, and that will alleviate any of the continuum of, but there you go. Kind of gives you an idea, you know, like as you know, when you do them, you may put more, like I think I put more feathers on her than I did on the other one, but it's just how it fills in, right? So, if you would like to make one, make it and send me a picture. I would love to see it. Nancy Gonzalez says I missed it. No, you never miss a video of mine, because this will be posted under my videos, under Rosie, or under Baby Flamingo or whatever. And you can go in and look at it anytime. So I'm going to recap what you need. You need Flamingo from Dollar Tree. You need an 8-inch wreath form, wire wreath form from Dollar Tree. Or you can use the 4-inch or the 4-wire and cut the little half of it off, however you want to do it. You need, I'm thinking maybe you're going to need a roll and a bit of mesh. So if you have 2 rolls of something, or you've done a project and you have half a roll left and it's pink, go ahead and do that. Use that. You're going to need to get something blingy if you want to make her a princess. I mean, you could put a big sunflower on her head and put a sunflower here. You could put a bow on her. You could do whatever, however you want to bling her out. That's what you're going to need. And then whatever you use to cover the back. I'm just going to put a black circle on the back of this and cover it. And then however you want to hang it. But this is it. She's all done and ready to go. So thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate all the attention that you've been giving my page. If you could like this, share it, pass it on to your family and friends, I would absolutely love it. Joanne, the crowns came from Amazon, and if you go on my page, there is the link. They come in, the crowns come a large one and a medium and a small. Now I've used the medium, but you can cut the small one in half. That's what I did here. The medium one you can cut into 3, so you make it more like a tiara than a crown. And but you can, whatever, you probably can go, your dollar stores are so fabulous over in the US, you probably can go there and buy those for like $1. Amazon, they're $20 for the 3 of them, but like I said, you can get about 5 crowns out of it. So but anyway, here she is. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And please share me with your friends and family. I would absolutely love it. Talk to you all soon. Adios.